What's up, everybody? That bus and that screech means that we are back in the world of Oddballs. I am Ethan Banville, co-creator of Oddballs with James Rallison, aka The Odd Ones Out. We are back here to talk more about Wanted Dead or a Fly. This is part two. If you haven't seen part one, go watch that first, and then come back and we'll talk more about all the ways to say murder. Also, James launched a new video today, so if you haven't seen that after you watch this, go check it out. I'm in it. Had no idea it was going to happen that way, but happy to be there looking like a fool, as always. So back to Wanted Dead or a Fly. So this is a part of what I was talking about last time. It starts to get pretty intense. And there was a concern that it was going to be too scary for our audience. Of course, as we've discovered now, all of you guys totally handled it well, really enjoyed it, had a good time with it. And, we were careful enough. But one of the things was saying murder. And as you saw at the end of the last video, there was Murder Ave was the original name of the street that you'll see again in a moment, what it actually was changed to.
He knows! He knows! How could he know?
Again, that is original Max. That is not Julian.
Come on, let's go get some froyo and forget about McFly.
Okay, but he could follow us.
That is Julian. Good Max. New Max.
Not if we make an unexpected move!
There it is. Murder Ave, Slaughter Lane. So, long story short on all of that, there were lots of mentions of murder in this because, of course, the guys think they murdered their teacher's grandmother. And kill, of course, easy ways to say these things very clearly, and we try to be as clear as possible with our scripts and our dialogue. But ultimately, we had to change to iced men for less, whacked McFly's grandma, things of that sort to get past things. And then I'll tell you about in a minute when we get there some other issues that we ran into, such as in the bedroom scene where James is losing his mind. We added all of the McFly's family stuff, goofiness, because him thinking he was going to be murdered was a little intense. Now, them jumping out the window, of course, was amusing to us that they were not fine with us saying murder, kill, words like that, but okay to let kids watch other kids jumping through tempered glass out of a school bus window, which, by the way, school bus at night, it's a long story, but there was an actual scene of them going to bury the other fly corpses and them being on the bus. And then we didn't actually catch that they did the school bus versus the city bus. We actually want to reuse it because, of course, budget issues. If we can reuse something, it's better. So we went with the bus. Just kind of a weird little thing that ended up staying in the show.
Oh, I did it again!
Old Max.
What is wrong with
Wait,
me?
Max! No one knows we're criminals!
So that was No One Knows We're Criminals, which had replaced No One Knows We're Murderers, which became No One Knows We're Covering Up a Crime. Now, this is the McFly's family stuff I was talking about. This is kind of the culmination of those moments in here. So we added those to kind of take the temperature down a little bit on the scariness, to have him be hallucinating and seeing these little flies everywhere. Again, child hallucinating because he's so scared. Okay, but let's put in some flies because the lighting is a little bit moody. But we know you guys can handle it, and you did. Now this little bit here,
His entire family?
Cookie, their oatmeal raisin.
Now, originally they were just oatmeal raisin cookies with raisins, and I had the idea at the last minute of, well, they should just be little flies. And thankfully the board team kind of went to the kind of bigger version that you see there. And then, of course, eventually we came around to, well, rather than making them all these like bigger flies, let's just get the small flies the size of raisins, which of course is what I was pitching in the beginning. But sometimes, you're busy. People don't talk to each other. People just go off and do what they think they're supposed to do. And it was our bad, but they fixed it for us, and we got some really cute little dead flies on the cookies.
Max! Max!
So you've murdered someone, and now you're wondering what's next.
One of my favorite jokes in the entire script, that was something that the board team came up with, was not in the original script. I believe it was our board artist Emily who pitched it in her section. It was very, very funny. Obviously, one of the times that we got to say murder.
You've murdered someone, and now you're wondering what's next.
Because what would Max do if he thought he had murdered somebody? He would go and listen to a podcast to try and overcome the grief and get through it.
Grandma McFly wasn't even missing.
So this bit here, I always laugh at, because this was kind of the point where we realized McFly's just going to be a lovable loser for this entire series. And this is where we find out that, of course, his family was faking his grandmother's disappearance so that he wouldn't go to the party. And he's about to tell James why he's there, not to murder him.
That's right. Turns out the search party was an actual party, and she just didn't want to invite me, which is why I'm here tonight, fixing your leaky gutter.
My water?
Mm-hmm.
So, backstory on this as well. Originally, it was McFly was there to fix the weather vane. For some reason, Netflix didn't want weather vane. They didn't think it was good enough. We had some jokes around it. They were confused by it, probably because most people don't have weather vanes anymore. So I think they were right on that note. So, but most people have gutters, even though in the desert where James grew up, not a whole lot of gutters on houses. But for this case, we had that McFly was earning some money on the side, as he always does, obviously, and breaking and entering, which you guys watched. He was driving a rideshare to make a little bit of cash after getting fired for having a app turn him into a pupa of sorts.
The recent rain exposed some problems with your drainage system, so your parents hired me to sort it out. The extra money from doing odd jobs like this will help me save enough money to send my grandma on.
So I love this. You can see the two different versions of the grandma. And of course, when it went through boards into animation, they improved upon grandma, made her a little bit hipper, giving the duck lips with the old peace sign.
Save enough money to send my grandma on a cruise. Maybe she will start inviting me to the family parties instead of pretending she's missing or dead.
Again, one of my favorite moments that Gary Anthony Williams, who does the voice for Mr. McFly, did or dead. We constantly quote that line in the edit sessions, even on some of the other episodes.
Or dead. Repel, and...
Excuse me, just always a good moment for James to embrace a little pain there.
Repel, and... ground.
Oh, so I'm not in trouble?
Heck no! Why would you be in trouble for killing a fly? It was on your turf, right?
Now, the your turf thing. Excuse me, guys. So one of our writers, the writer who wrote this, Darren Henry, he wrote on Seinfeld. He wrote on Curb Your Enthusiasm. He wrote on Futurama. He's written on a ton of huge shows. We were very lucky to have him. And he, of course, brought that kind of Seinfeld sensibility of that bookend of bringing something back that's set up at the top to really button the story together. James, of course, brings up at the top that, the fly was on his turf. And if a praying mantis walked in, then that praying mantis better be praying. But ipso facto, if he was on their turf, he would expect for them to take him out as well, and all would be fair. So McFly, of course, agrees with him on this, and James is very excited.
It was on your turf, right?
Yes! Plus, it was interrupting me.
I've iced men for less.
Now, I always laugh about this because Mr. McFly is an interesting character. He is basically admitting to murder. Again, sorry, guys. Admitting to murder. And he's a kid's teacher. And somehow we were able to do that. So thank you, Netflix, for letting us do some really crazy stuff.
Oh. Freeze! I'm out!
That was also the first time for hearing McFly's line of "I'm out." That became kind of a little catchphrase for his when he just decides, yeah, I'm not going to stay here and fight. I'm going to get the heck out of here. You'll see that throughout other episodes coming up, which I'll point out, of course. But here he is throwing that grappling hook, getting out of Dodge so the police don't arrest him. Also, police backwards, somehow, mirrored. Not sure how that happened. Oh, I know how it happened. They drew one car and they flipped it. I assume that's how that happened. Anyways, just discovering that myself, guys. So that is Wanted Dead or a Fly. Got of course, our end scene here. But those are some choice moments and some behind the scenes stuff from that episode. It was a lot of fun to do. It was one of the earliest episodes pitched, as I said, and I can't wait to share more and more about episodes to come. So like and subscribe so you can get all the other ones coming across. I'll keep sharing, and you'll see more and more and further back in the process as we go. Have a great day, everybody.